All right, everyone. Well, thank you so much for being here today to our webinar, Increase Your Sales with Google Tools. My name is Jesus Escutia. I am the program manager for the Central Coast Small Business Development Center, also called the Central Coast SBDC. And if you, just to kind of gauge it a little bit, if you guys have questions during the webinar, feel free to chime in between, and then we'll follow up at the end as well with some Q&A. Okay. See here. All right, very briefly. So the agenda, we're going to cover showcasing your business with Google business profile. We'll then follow up with list your products on Google. Followed by set yourself up for success, and then a recap of the resources.
You want to minimize this?
Yeah, let me just minimize this up here. Okay.
I'd be toolbar.
All right, so before we get started, let's kind of just go through who we have here today in the room. If you want to introduce yourself and then the business or idea of the business that you have, we'll start over here on our left.
Guillermo Ortiz from A&G Facility Services.
Gotcha, Guillermo. And then is it online that you do most of your business, or is it, you have like an office that someone can go and visit you?
Services. We offer services, so we offer services.
Oh, okay.
So my name is Jose Martinez. I have a security company. We offer different type of security services, which is security guard, patrol services. We are more into targeting now into Google platforms.
Okay.
We haven't been out there. What we do is use one-on-one, pretty much private properties, management, HOA homes. That's it.
So services primarily.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Okay. And then do you have an office where a client can go visit you, or is it all based online where they can find you?
No, yeah, of course we have an office. Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
Robert Glick Design, primarily graphic design, marketing, photography, illustration.
Mhm.
And I do have a website and I have a Google profile, but I want to build out the profile to be more effective.
Okay, gotcha. And then I know that before we jumped on, you were mentioning that you work from home. Is that
Base business?
Yeah.
Graphic designer.
Yeah.
Got my Mac.
So
do that, but I go out,
Okay.
do different things. Photography, one of them, but primarily graphic design.
Okay, and then do you have clients meet you at your home, or do you
No.
meet them somewhere? Okay,
It's
gotcha.
possible, but most folks, I just go to see them, and then I get a feel for what they're doing and the physical environment, how it all works there.
Gotcha. So primarily in here, we have mostly service-based businesses, which Google profile definitely has a way to assist and kind of manage it that way. Not necessarily it's just geared towards products. So let's see. Okay, so before we get started into the main presentation, if you guys can, I believe there's a paper and pen, and for those that are online, you can feel free to jot it down as well. If you want, if you can, list 3 things that you want consumers to know about your business. Any 3 things, can be anything, and we'll refer back to them during the presentation. All right, so showcasing your business with a Google business profile. So let's start off with this example, Woodward throwback. So we have 2 individuals that came up with an idea of repurposing old furniture. Apparently back in Michigan, there's furniture on the streets that they would go pick up, right? Take it apart, refinish it, put it back together, either use it themselves or sell it, right? But the problem is, well, how do you get people to know about your business? It's not like how it used to be. Like, yeah, you can do chambers of commerce, word of mouth and whatnot, but that's not the most effective way. In today's world, everything is online. There's no escaping from it anymore. You need to be online, an online presence, in order for people to find out who you are, what you do, and what services you offer. So what they did is they created a Google business profile. So the number 1 device used in today's world is your phone, hands down. So on the screen on this slide, you'll see that the business profile through a device, right? You come up with the name of the business, Woodward Throwbacks. It displays the reviews, so you have what the average reviews you're getting, the type of business it is, so in this case, it's a furniture store, and the location, Hamtramck, Michigan. You also have a little banner or option that you have for overview photo reviews. We'll dive into that a little bit later, what other options that you have available to you. Right below it, you'll see photos and videos, so very important, photos and videos can even start by describing the impact that it has to your business. You have the option to set up phone calls, so you can insert your phone number and people can call you directly from the Google Business profile. Obviously highlights of things that you want people to do. So if you don't have a website, but you have an Etsy shop or whatnot, you can have it directed to wherever it is that you're going. And then the location, where exactly it is that, you know, you're located in, if you have a physical address that businesses or clients can go visit you. If you don't, it's a little bit different, but it still applies to you. So the phone is offered from Google, right? Google it is a term nowadays that everyone uses. Another thing is maps, Google Maps. So if someone is visiting from out of town, right, let's say a new business is opening up, but they want to know what janitorial businesses around them, what rates they have and whatnot. What they can do is they can go to Maps and say, janitorial services near me. Near me is the number one, it's near me in stock has been used more than 90% year over year increase since when they started tracking, I believe it was pre-pandemic. So definitely something to be mindful of. All your information will get displayed similarly to this, where it has all of your address, your website, your phone number, and other labels as well. To set up the business profile, super simple, doesn't take much. You visit google.com/business, you create or claim. So most of the time, Google already has, if you have a brick and mortar, has already kind of outlined, oh, this business is so and so on this address. It doesn't mean someone's claimed it, it just means Google's recognized it. You can go in and claim that business. If you don't have a business, if Google hasn't noticed your business right on Google View or whatever, you can create your own and say, oh, this is my business, this is proof and whatnot. So there's once you create or claim it, you go to the verification process. There's a couple of ways you can do it: text message, phone call, video, and email, as well as mail. Mail takes the longest. It takes about 2 weeks for you to receive a code that you can then input, but it works the same way. And then for the rest, it usually takes about 5 days to confirm to verify the business. And then in the meantime, just because it's not verified doesn't mean you can't start working on it, right? So if you already have it, you've set the process to verify it, you don't have to twiddle your thumbs. You can go in and start doing all these changes. And we'll briefly go over them in the next couple of slides. There's so much that you can do and really personalize the profile. So feel free to ask any questions if you have one. So this is what it looks like on a computer, right? Once you've gone in and started the verification or already verified, you have the option to edit the profile, exactly what it'll show on either Google Chrome or on Maps. You can read the reviews, you can message people or message the clients that have left reviews. You can add photos, you can look at your performance, which is very important, right? So let's say that you have a website and you're not getting that many hits, and all of a sudden you have Google profile and you have your website. Excuse me, you can see where people are going. Are they going to your website? Maybe they're not. Maybe they're just going straight to your address and just driving to your location, right? You can advertise through Google. You can, if you sell products, you can edit the products on there. You can edit the services that you offer. Google also offers booking. So I don't know if you guys seen, but like a lot of restaurants use it for reservations. You can book them directly through there. Google also offers a phone number that clients can call you directly. Different phone number to your personal, but it'll still get to you. You have a Q&A section. You can leave updates for businesses. So there's a whole array of things that you can do through your Google business profile that can help you make or create more business for yourself. So super simple to edit any of it. You go through edit profile, you have access to editing your business name. One thing that is very important whenever you are creating your business Google profile is that the name that you put down has to match whatever signage you have outside, right? So let's say it's Irma's Salon, right? So you put Irma's Salons, it's an S for whatever misspelled it, they'll deny you because of it. Or you put a hyphen in it, you have to do it word for word exactly the same, or you'll run into some issues. The category, so what type of business, right? So photography, marketing, you can add multiple. Security, you can do janitorial or other things that you do something further in. Yes,
So let me ask about that specifically. So how many can you, where do you put that? Like, in my case, graphic design, I want marketing as one of them, maybe advertising, maybe photography, illustration. So where would I go to
through that
make
same,
that change?
through that same business category, you can edit and it'll give you the
And you
option.
can put 5 or more in there,
You don't wanna go you don't wanna do too many,
5?
because then you're between 3 and 5 would be
Okay.
the max, 5 would be kind of pushing it a little bit, because then you'll get, your business will be watered down among
I see.
everyone else.
Okay,
And that, you wanna be a little bit more specific to what it
Okay.
is that you're doing.
My recommendation would just be to have one principal category,
Okay.
whatever the primary category is, and then since you're a service-based business, within here, I would just optimize your business profile to highlight that. And there's a whole bunch of different tools that you can use with Google. There's a Google website where you can search what terms are most popular at any given point, right? So maybe this year the big term, I see you do like, insurance and taxes. So maybe the word this year is tax relief, and things associated with tax relief. Maybe next year it's on tax postponement, right? Last year there was taxes were postponed all the way through October. So maybe there's a little bit of buzz around that. So how can you optimize your website to kind of build off of that like natural buzz that's going on around certain topics, right? You might have a security business, maybe that's tied to maybe a lot of events, right? So you want to make sure that the words on your website, your services are tied to whatever searches, a consumer might do. So always kind of think about the consumer. If I'm a consumer and I'm looking for your service, what am I typing? Right? And then you want your words to match up with that same kind of thought process.
Keywords.
Exactly, yeah, yes. And then moving on to the description, so you'll have an option to write the description of your business, what services you offer and whatnot, and things like that. Location, so if you don't have a brick and mortar, that's fine. What you can do is you can geofence locate your business or how far you're willing to travel to do business or have clients come and meet you, right? So let's say you're here in Monterey, right? But you're not willing to travel past Greenfield. Well, you can geofence that area to where you're willing to go. Same thing with the janitorial services, you can do all that. But for like insurance, right, if you do have a brick and mortar, you have an office that people can go visit you, can put down your location. If you have more than one location, you can still do that. It's a little bit more advanced where you have multiple Google business profiles all linked to one main one and one up, so we can.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, cause I was gonna ask you about it too, on the business, if you already have a business profile. And then you have another office in Salinas. Would it be attached or be a new business profile?
So it would be attached, it would be a different business profile, but it'd be linked together.
Okay.
Because it's still the same business, but in two separate locations, two separate offices.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now we have to keep-
Mhm. Yeah, and then the next one is hours, right? So definitely very important to keep an hours, especially during the holidays, people. They'll go and they'll be very mad if you're closed and it says that you're open. Trust me, the reviews will come in flowing. So if you can update your hours, you can leave your standard hours of operation. You can put, oh, you know what, holidays are different than these, feel free to ask or look at the Q&A or whatnot.
Does it show the holidays?
Yeah, it'll show the holidays. So if you Google it, it'll show all Thanksgiving hours or whatever or whatnot, and you can add those in.
And one quick pointer before we move on. How many of you know what language your customer base primarily speaks? Do all of you, is your client base primarily English speaking? Okay.
mine are not.
Because Google, the way Google business profiles and SEO works, it depends based on the language. So if your business profile is in English, but you know that most of your clients are primarily Spanish speakers, optimizing this in English isn't going to work well for you because SEO works different in Spanish because it doesn't like automatically translate, right? So that's also another thing to take into account. If you know that your client base speaks a specific language, or you are, a very bilingual based business, right? You serve multiple languages, include different, blurbs in there in those different languages.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the SEO won't really pick it up.
Yeah. So for like yourself, you have an office here in Monterey,
Yes.
and then one in Watsonville and one in where else?
It's here in Salinas,
Here in
no,
Sal-
just two.
Oh,
Salinas
Salinas
and
and Watsonville?
Yeah.
So for example, right, Watsonville is dominantly Spanish speaking. If you go and write it, your business will get referred in Spanish. Your Google business profile will be mostly diverted towards those people that are Googling preparador de impuestos. So big difference, right? You have it in English and all these other, the majority that you have it, that you're serving, they're not seeing it because of how you exactly.
Gotcha.
All right, so you can also add attributes, right? So for example, let's say that you are a Latino-owned business, right? You can name it down as to Latino. I believe that, and don't quote me on it, but the metrics is, I think it's 60 to 70% increase year over year since COVID of people now working or Googling Black-owned business, trying to support those attributed businesses that, that are labeled as such. So you can go ahead and you can qualify for more than one, right? Let's say you're a Latino and Black-owned business, as well as an LGBTQ plus member. So you can have multiple on there that you can add onto your profile. All right, so very simple as well as how to set it up. You go through edit profile, you click on more, and it's a matter of clicking yes or no. Google doesn't request any kind of proof. It's just kind of on your own base and merit. There are certifications you can get through the SBA and whatnot, but that's a separate thing altogether. All right, like I mentioned, hours of operation, very important, especially for like, let's say you're not getting business, right? Let's say that you're opening up from 8 to 3, right? Those are your businesses, but you're not seeing any traffic at all. Well, maybe what if you switched it up and you opened from, I don't know, 12 to 7, and all of a sudden you start seeing a boom in business. More partly because maybe, the hours were on, people were like, oh, well, they're closed, I work or whatnot, I'm not able to go. So you can definitely play around with it. Like I said, this is more of a product-based tip, but still applies to service. Maybe, you have services that go up to a certain time and whatnot, and you'll see an intake. Same way how to set them up. You go through edit profile, you click on hours, you click on more, add more hours for different situations, and you can have, like I mentioned, the holiday hours. So let's say that you do, I don't know.
Like for example, if you have an office, like at the bottom, you could add, maybe you do walk-ins, from 12 to 2 or from past 12, right? Or you don't do walk-ins and you want to add that in, or you can do evening appointments on an on-needed basis, right? Or whatever that looks like. And other key ways that this can help you guys, for example, if you have a restaurant on the back end, you can see, for example, I have a pizza shop, and I can go on the back end and see that on Wednesdays at 6 o'clock, there is an uptick in the number of people looking up for pizza for my particular pizza shop. Well, why is that? Or don't worry too much about why is that, but how can I get those people to come to my place, right? What is it about 4 o'clock? Maybe I can do a family deal, right? Maybe it's family members. Maybe there's something going on Wednesday night.
You're looking at analytics there.
Yeah, exactly, the performance, and that's where it comes back to looking at your Google profile, seeing, okay, well, when is my Google profile being looked at what times, right? So you can look at that and see, oh, we'll have an uptick, like Jose mentioned, from 6 to 8. Well, you can change your hours from this time so that people can come in. And same thing, and we can go into updates a little bit more where you can look at how you can show deals for other potential clients to come and look at. All right, so like I mentioned, updates are a way that you can communicate to your clients certain deals or whatnot. 70% of shoppers in the surveyed market say that good deals or discounts are the reason that they decided to go to that. 70%, that's a huge thing. Everyone is looking for deals nowadays. But the way that you can easily make it accessible for potential clients is using the updates tab. So very simple. For an update, you just click on add update and then you select it. So you can have an update, an offer, an event, right? So let's say that your business, you opened up the Google Business profile before your business was open, right? Which is fine. You're gonna do a grand opening, but people don't know when it is or what to do. You can select it as an event and place it in there so people can see all the details for it. Let's say there's an offer, right? Let's say that you're for taxes, you're offering a discount if you get in before a certain time. You can put that there and people can see it. For an update, you can say, oh, janitorial services, I'm now expanding to include Watsonville, right? Things like such.
What about this? Just won a 2024 American Graphic Design Award.
As well, yeah, as an
Is it an
update.
update?
Yeah,
Or is that-
yeah.
Is that something you'd want to put somewhere
No,
else?
you can definitely put it as an update.
Where you want.
Yeah, you want the visibility, you want clients to
Okay.
be able to see.
I don't know if that was a real event or not, but yeah.
No, yeah, you definitely can.
So the only way it would show them is if they click the update.
Yeah, so if you see, you can see where it has reviews and what happens. Switch through the tabs, you can switch through it and there's an update thing for you that you can see, they'll be able to see that once you've updated it.
Yeah. And if you have an update when you're looking at it on your phone and you start scrolling on it, the update will pop up towards the top. So if you think about when you're scrolling up,
Okay.
it's the business profile information, then it's typically like a few pictures or videos.
Yeah.
It'll pop up right before those pictures.
And that's the consumers looking at it?
That's what the
Exactly.
consumer sees.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So you can see the reviews.
Yeah.
too when-
yeah, so you can see the reviews, it'll show up between the reviews,
Show the
that, and then the
Yeah.
pictures, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright, reviews, so this is usually a very interesting topic. So 64% of holiday shoppers use Google, said that they did so for discovery and inspiration. I wanna say an even greater percentage of those are dictate whether they go to your business or not. Reviews have come a long way from when they first started. I don't know about you guys, but my wife always asks, like, oh, where do you wanna go? He's like, I don't know, wherever. And I'll refer to a restaurant and she'll say, what are the reviews? The very first thing she'll say is, what are the reviews? So sometimes, and we'll go over how to respond to it, but it's good to respond to both good and bad, right? And sometimes depending on the review, it might be worth kind of waiting to respond, especially if it's a bad one. Because let's be honest, this is a business, you put in hard work for it. And all of a sudden someone is bad mouthing your business, right? It's your baby. You can get
You're
frustrated.
talking about as a cooling off period.
Exactly, a cooling off period. You can get frustrated and some might even say offended, and I get it, I completely understand. That being said, you still wanna show that professional courtesy to be, professional, polite in your response, regardless of whatever they said. You'll be amazed how many people will go through and read the reviews and say it's like, okay, they have all these, good reviews or whatnot, or if you have a somewhat decent reviews average, and then there's like a couple bad ones, but they see that you've gone and responded back, like, oh wow, this guy is really trying to make an effort to fix whatever the problem is. My wife will do it all the time. She's like, look at what they said. I was like, okay, what did the owner say back? It's like, oh, they offered him a free meal. I was like, okay, they're trying.
Yeah.
But definitely it's something to consider. Even on the good ones, say, hey, thank you so much, like, you had an amazing time, we can't wait to have you back. Or let's say that they were talking bad about the service, like, I am so sorry that, you had you went through that, feel free to either message me or come back in and ask for so-and-so for the owner or whatnot, and I'm more than happy to see what I can do to correct this issue or this problem. Those miles, and at the end, there's no problem asking them to change the review. Do you mind giving me a 5-star? Do you mind giving me something more, that did I fix the issue?
Oh, they can change it?
Oh, yeah, they can change it, they can delete it, they can do all that. But on the business end, respond promptly. Obviously, if you're upset about the review, take a little bit, but respond as soon as possible. Usually 24 hours is the most you wanna go for responding. Don't use your responses to advertise, right? So let's say that you got a 5-star, like, oh, awesome, thank you for giving me the 5-star. glad that you had a good time, but did you take advantage of this, deal or whatever? You don't wanna do that, cause then you're just trying to, it sounds tacky, yeah. Like I said, thank happy customers, and then address issues constructively and try to resolve issues privately. You don't wanna go and like, go in a back and forth war with the angry client. Oh, my server did this, like, well, were you rude, or were you, did you tip or something, you know what I mean, like, you wanna, so like, I'm sorry you went through that, feel free to call me back, kind of take it offline.
It's not, I mean, it is social media, but it's a business.
Exactly, yeah. And then as for the reviews, it doesn't hurt. Back in my day, I used to work for AT&T, and they had a little QR code on the center of the table. Like, oh, you want, ask for the review on Google so you can get more business in here. So it doesn't hurt to ask. You can share the link through email, through social media, or just share the link directly. Nowadays you can do short links. There's link trees and QR codes and all this other stuff. So there's definitely a multitude of ways that you can.
Can you create a QR code with the Google?
Yes, yeah, you can.
Sure that I'm sure.
Okay, and then how products can appear. So this is geared more towards people that have products. So whenever you go through, you're able to view the product catalog and the product posts on the carousel. And by carousel, it talks about where it says reviews, updates, and things of the different tabs. Very simple to add them as well. You click on edit products, name, category. You can add information like name, category, photo, price, description, and a button that links directly to your webpage, wherever it is that you're selling it.
And could we look one more back if you could? So up there, it's 128 plus is the example.
Yes.
So they have 128 photos?
Yes.
And they have 53
So,
reviews.
so some folks are just, that's where they're putting all this content and photos, instead of sending them over to their website where they could have more.
Or both. Yeah.
Yeah.
So just to kind of keep in mind, Google Business Profile is very much like a social media page. It's not just a one and done, you kind of have to keep on it. You have to keep posting every so often. You finish a job, you post it, right? A picture, or for your example in marketing. As long as you have permission from the client or whatnot. Let's say that you finish, you just got a huge contract and you were able to do 150 rooms, and you're there until 7. You can take a picture, it's like, oh, we worked through the night to get your place clean or whatnot, kind of thing.
Do they have, sounds like you're describing a photo and a caption?
Well, you can add a caption within the photo if you'd like, but you can do things like that. I've seen people go crazy with it. But yeah, photos are definitely important, videos as well. The quality, and we'll still go into it in a little bit later, but the quality of the photo, if you have a decent phone, they take decent pictures, go ahead and take a photo, but if not, take some time to take good photos, work on the brand, and you can place it on there as well. Yes.
What are your thoughts about like with that photo, or like to take photos to like employees, your team members, on events, on?
I've seen people do a team photo on there. They've posted it on Google. I've seen people post their events that they do, their logo kind of somewhere within the picture and whatnot, kind of saying, that they're out there kind of getting exposure. It really is a personal preference to whatever it is that you want to post. Just make it somewhat like a decently taken photo, not, where the glare is all bad and just sometimes, a bad photo or a bad taken photo will do worse than good, instead of just having something there. Yeah, so take the time to take a couple good ones.
My feedback to that would be to just, again, put yourself in the client's shoes, and if they're looking or requesting for your service, what type of images would exude confidence or would incline you to make that decision to go with you, right? So like if I'm looking for security services and I see pictures and I have 2 different business profiles like showing up before me. One of them has, not so professional pictures. One of them has slightly more professional pictures. The one that has the more professional pictures just kind of communicates that like greater sense of professionalism. It gives a greater sense of credibility. That might not be the actual case, but that, you know, our digital presence is the first, you know, it's our first point of contact with people. Also, the difference between Google and social media is really for your ongoing visibility and, you know, engagement with the community. When you go to Google, you're not like Googling, you know, random businesses and things like that. You're very intentional about a search, right? So if you're Googling like tax services near me, you're Googling that because you need a service. So you're probably gonna make a call, you're gonna shoot an email, you can visit a website, you're gonna do an action. Whereas social media, you're just gonna like and keep scrolling, right? That's kind of the intention. That's the difference. On here, you want to make sure you have content that's more geared towards like a customer and towards executing that sale to bring that business. Whereas social media can be, I want to say that can be a little bit more fun. It can be a little bit more engaging. Whereas here, you're not really going to be like, oh, like this post, because you can't really like things like that.
It's kind of like a first impression, if nobody has ever seen your
Your
business.
business,
in
what do you want to do?
Google,
Yeah.
They Google it, they can see, you know, the first impression, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Pictures of, you know, like you said, of the team, or pictures of the volunteers, you know, things I can do and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay. All right, so pretty simple from to how to get there for what we were just previously talking about. Same thing, google.com/business. You're gonna update your business information with attributes, hours of operation, products, and more. And then connect with your customers by responding to reviews. You can also keep people informed by publishing posts about the updates and offers and events like we had previously mentioned. And then we'll go into the products, your products on Google. So like I mentioned earlier, this is more towards product-based businesses. And not so much the service, but still something to keep in mind if later on it might be that way. So pretty much what the Google Merchant Center does, it's a way to manage in-store and online inventory on Google from your own business, right? So if you have certain products that are on your website and in your inventory, you can manage those on there. You can manage things like pricing, descriptions, images, and things like that. All right, so as well, when you're in the Alt tab through Google, right, and you Google a certain business, you sometimes can see the image of the product that you have already through Google Merchant, and it'll go into by giving a description of it and how big it is, what the type is, and even a pricing and a delivery, depending, all gathered from the Google Merchant Center. Some e-commerce based websites are able to sync with the Merchant Center. So if, you know, just in case before you start doing any edits or anything like that, or doing it manually, reach out to the e-commerce provider and ask them like, hey, you know, do you guys synchronize with the Merchant Center? That way they do it all automatically on the back end. And then in the shopping tab for Google, you can see your specifically for your business, you'll see all the products that you have listed, and you can filter out through pricing, rating, even the seller. If you have different sellers throughout, if you have a kind of like a wholesale, you have different types of products. And this tab specifically is called the free listing tab through shopping. And then pretty much the images, it says the same thing, right? So whenever you go and you click on, or you Google, in this situation, the Woodward throwback sling chair, and then you go through images, you'll see a bunch of images. Any image that has the little ticket item at the bottom left-hand corner is something that's in stock, and that's also able to purchase it. As soon as you click it, it'll redirect you to the website to be able to purchase it. And so how it pretty much works, right? So you create an account, you upload the products, and you show products. You can just show your products across Google. So very simple, very straightforward. It does take a little bit to get used to it, but you know, with doing it over and over, you kind of get used to it. Guidelines. So it does have a couple of guidelines that you have to follow. You can only post available products, right? So let's say you're going to be getting in a new brand, but you don't have it in stock yet. You can't post it, not until you get it. Another thing is you have to provide or prove that you have a secure checkout process. So for those who didn't know, like Zelle or things like, or not Zelle,
It's not just that, it
Yeah.
refers to the URL up here.
Yes.
If you have a secure checkout process, we'll have a security lock that pops up here to protect the user's information. If it doesn't, and you can apply this to whenever you're shopping now, like pay attention to it. If it doesn't have the lock show up before it, you're not shopping in a secure network and then
Yeah.
your information can be compromised.
and
So just proves to consumers that you are going that extra step to protect their information.
you usually see it as a big red unlock lock instead of the regular lock that you'll see up there. And then like I mentioned, check with your e-commerce provider to see if they synchronize with the merchant center. Most of the time they do, especially with the bigger e-commerce providers. Okay. So a couple of tips setting up for success. So online presence is huge, like I had mentioned. Start working on your Google business profile, and not just your Google business profile, right? Your website, if you already have it done, make sure you link it on there. Social media, you can also link to your Facebook or Instagram or whatnot's on there. And do it as soon as possible. The longer you wait, that's the longer that you lose that money on. And like I mentioned, you don't have to necessarily post things with words, right? You can leave it a picture worth 1,000 words.
Where does the Facebook and Instagram or X appear?
It should be within the same tab, the little tab that you see.
Yeah.
So
I guess I didn't put mine on there.
should be right up here. Either through here or even down here, you'll see a little Facebook.
So as I walk through it, I'll.
Yeah, you might have not added the link, and when you don't add it, that's when it won't just show it blank, you have to add it in order for it to appear. And then tip number 2 is checkout. So the easiest way I can show this one is, in Spanish is se hacen caliente, right? You do it while the metal's hot, right? Or else it won't happen. So being able to set it up to where people can purchase your products or services faster rather than it taking longer, right? You find yourself people buying things a lot more often. The best example I can give is for Amazon. I love Amazon, is my go-to for everything. But if you've noticed, they have a buy now option. All you gotta do is swipe right and that's it, you bought it. Double click for your face to charge your card, and that's the easiest way to do it. Sometimes people will go and add things on cards and they'll keep adding and never buy anything. It's just the feeling of adding the card that some customers do. So definitely the easier you make it, the more likely it is that people will buy from your website. And then last thing is mobile first. Like I mentioned right at the beginning of the webinar, is everyone uses their phones. That's pretty much a computer. No one says, oh, let me look at, you're out and about, like, oh, let me go home and look at a good pizza joint. No, they all look at it on their phone, right? So think about it as far as your phone first. Make sure you optimize your phone or your profile, that it looks good on your phone before anywhere else. Yes, people do look at computers and iPads and tablets and whatnot, but the phone is the primary source of information. So definitely look at it in that way. All right, so recapping this, create or claim your business profile if you haven't already done so. Cannot stress how much this is, especially because it's a free resource, how important it is. Read and respond to customers' reviews. Use Google Merchant Center to display products across Google if you do have products. Make a checkout process easy for customers, just to make it a lot easier. I remember once I was trying to buy books, and I had to use some weird, probably clips that I shouldn't have been using, but the process needed 50 different steps for me to buy it, and I was like, you know what, I'll swing it. I'll see how I do without the book. So definitely, the easier the streamline, the better. So one thing, if you want to write down or take away that you'll do to reach shoppers online, that's going to be your homework for today. You have a couple of different options of things that you can do, but at least one thing. And then if you like the information you received today, Google has its own YouTube channel, Grow with Google. where they have expert tips to grow your skills and careers, or your business as well, if you want to learn more from what Google has to offer. And then I can share all of these resources with you at the end if you'd like as well. And then Google also offers career certification. So let's say that you already have an employee, but you find yourself that you need someone or something for cybersecurity for your own business, right? Well, Google offers cybersecurity certifications that your employees can take, and that's, you can promote them or what within the own development of the employee. They also offer data analytics, advanced data analytics, business intelligence, digital marketing and e-commerce. IT support, automation with Python, project management, and UX design. Google also offers free online training and tools at google.com/grow for teachers and students, for local businesses, job seekers, and for developers as well. Thank you very much. Do you have any further questions? Anything else I might be able to answer specific to your business? Do anything online?
We do have one question online, and it says, I have a home office, I'm a realtor, and I don't want people to know my exact address. Where should I put my location? I currently have it set with my street without the exact address.
So you can actually so I believe Google requires you to put an address down. But you don't have to display it. It's an option that you have that's available to you. You can opt out of displaying it and just, but you have to, there's a portion of there that says it's your business is service based. So you can, once you click that, the option becomes available and you can geofence where people can find your specific business. So let's say you want people from King City to find you, right? You can go, okay, real estate's near me. As long as that's geofenced, it won't show your direct, your address what you put down for Google. Specifically where I'd have to kind of walk you through, which I don't think we have the slide up. Feel free to, you guys can call me as well. Which one the office line, I believe. If you want to put it in the chat, it's area code 831-216-3013. We'll put it in the chat, that way you guys can have it. If I don't pick up, feel free to leave a voicemail. And I'll get back to you as soon as possible, but I can definitely help you walk you through that part of the profile. Anything else? Any other questions? Any issues you guys have had or wanted to do that haven't been able to do to the business profile?
Just adding the other business and updating pictures and all that stuff. Like we have been focusing on business, Google account and stuff. It's mostly our business is mostly referred business from other customers already, but we do need to get on
Ramp up a little bit more.
updating all the social, especially right now, everybody's social media, phones and everything, so.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know if you have an example you can use to add in.
I don't have it. I don't have it with me. But I'll do the same thing. So if you want, I can have an advisor actually reach out to you, speak with you on it.
Okay.
Go ahead and follow the website on there. Become a client for the SBDC. I don't think you got the beginning portion of the webinar, but I'm the program manager for the Central Coast Small Business Development Center. And one of the things that we offer completely for free is one-on-one business counseling advice. So in your situation, right, you need help with the profile. You sign up as a client. We'll go through the intake process. Once we're done with that, I'll go ahead and refer you to an advisor and go sit down with you, either sit down or do through Zoom or over the phone.
Okay.
And we'll help you out with that or any other questions you might have. He won't do it for you, but he'll guide you.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Anything else? Any other
Can
questions?
you tell me a little bit more about, we talked about this, the primary service, I gotta put that there, but then, so when I was looking earlier today about the search, Google search, I see my friendly competitors, but they're showing up in multiple categories. So what are they doing that I'm not doing? You know, like graphic design be one, marketing's another, so I go to marketers and Monterey, for instance,
Mhm.
and my friendly competitors there in that section too,
Yeah.
I'm not, so I don't, what are they doing that I'm not?
Well, it's a matter of just kind of like, I want to say, just looking comparably at what they're doing and relative to what you are, because for the way rankings work for Google business profiles, there's over 200 different spiders and factors that Google will take into account.
Okay.
So it's not one specific thing,
Yeah.
it's a combination of different
So
things.
I'm thinking they've at least got that word embedded in their description,
Yeah.
that'd be the obvious
Mhm.
thing to do.
Yeah.
And that's enough to get them over in this other category, even though they've named one category, they're still hitting in this other one.
It could be, yeah, it could very be that it's that on top of like other factors like the pictures or the, or
How about if
things
they
like
have
that.
a street address and I don't?
Mm,
I wouldn't
ranking,
really say.
no,
So with websites, one of the things I believe I learned early on, just the website that we're
Mhm.
talking about, is the maturity of it. In other words, you got it out there long enough that start to mature and your rank, you know, generally kind of organically comes up the longer you've kind of been out there as a credible site.
yeah,
Google, the same thing? Is it matter, your ranking in Google have anything to do with you've been there a week or 10 years, it doesn't matter?
No, because it takes into the over 200 different
Yeah,
spiders
okay.
into account.
Ratings.
So there's a whole
Yeah.
bunch of different things
Okay.
that factor. Plus,
Yeah.
there's also paid advertisement, so you can also pay to be the top one, right?
But
Yeah.
like, but if you're paying to, other than say that goes, you pay for a month, whatever it is, does that advantage you later, even though you're not paying anyone?
No, because those are leads generated by paid advertising,
Yeah.
whereas the other leads would be generated organically.
Yeah. And you can see the difference. I usually recommend it, you know, do a month, see how it works out, especially if you've been there for a while and you've seen it kind of died off and you think you've done the most that you can. Pay the advertisers for a month, see if it makes sense for you, and if it does, you know, awesome, and if it doesn't, then you know, it's just one
Especially
month.
if you hook it up with an event,
Exactly.
Saturday sale or whatever.
Yeah,
For paying, is that something you do on the Google?
you can do it, yeah, there's a portion up there, I think I can go back to it. It's towards the beginning. Where is it? Advertise at the top right.
Okay.
That's where you can go through it and kind of go through that process. There's pre-recorded webinars for advertising specifically for Google. And I think we might have something in the pipeline later down, either this year or early next year on it. But there's multiple webinars on it, or we can, like I said, we can go through the advisor and they can guide you through it, yeah.
And again, that's just to be clear, just to be clear, that's for the ranking, right?
Yeah.
Because when you go to Google, insurance services near me.
Yeah.
Where you're saying out there, I was assuming that's because of the reviews.
That's
We
also-
don't have bad reviews.
Yeah.
Because we don't have that many reviews, maybe. That could be, like you said, it
That's
could be
both.
very different.
Yeah. So you can add, so like Jose was mentioning, you can pay to show up as the top one. Obviously, it'll show as sponsor that you're paying to show that you're the first one there, even if you have low reviews, right? But you can have your Google Business Profile become one of the top 3 that gets shown organically. So by responding to the reviews, by getting good reviews, by getting a lot of reviews, so like I said, asking for, so it all kind of encompasses the same thing, right? It all comes, different factors all reaching to one end goal.
Roughly around how much?
Yeah, there's no real like, there's no,
Because it depends, because again, with advertising, you can geofence it, you can select it to only certain users, so you can, obviously, you're probably not gonna have people under 16 years old wanting tax services, right? So you can kind of filter that out from who it shows up for, or when people show it up, you know? You can get very specific and really target a specific type of audience.
Yeah. Alright, do you have any others online? No, alrighty then guys, well, thank you so much for